The three myths of manifestation. Through my journey, I've encountered three persistent myths that keep people trapped in cycles of seeking without finding, visualizing without manifesting, affirming without attracting. Myth 1. Positive thinking is enough. If you've been in spiritual or self-development circles for any length of time, you've heard this one. Just think positive thoughts and you'll attract positive experiences. It sounds empowering, but it's devastatingly incomplete. I spent years thinking positive thoughts while my body remained in a state of chronic tension. I visualized abundance while my nervous system screamed scarcity. The universe doesn't respond to your thoughts. It responds to your entire energetic state, particularly the signals your nervous system broadcasts below your conscious awareness. Myth 2. Spiritual practice alone creates abundance. This one is trickier because spiritual practice is indeed powerful. I've experienced the transformative effects of meditation, energy work, and esoteric training firsthand. But here's what took me decades to understand. You can be incredibly spiritually advanced and still be dysregulated. You can access altered states of consciousness and still have a nervous system stuck in survival mode. You can channel energy through your chakras and still have your elements wildly out of balance. Spiritual experiences don't automatically translate to embodied abundance unless you address the foundational biological systems that govern your daily experience. Myth 3. Abundance is external. This is perhaps the most pervasive myth of all. We think abundance means having more money, more success, more recognition, more stuff. We chase external markers while ignoring the internal state that actually creates the capacity to receive and sustain abundance. True abundance is a state of being that naturally attracts corresponding external circumstances. When your nervous system feels safe, when your elements are balanced, when your entire being is in coherence. Abundance isn't something you chase, it's what naturally flows to and through you. Why this time is different. You might be wondering why this book is different from the countless others on manifestation, abundance, and the law of attraction. Fair question. I've read most of them, and many contain valuable insights. But here's what's been missing. A complete system that integrates the biological reality of your nervous system, the ancient wisdom of elemental balance, the physics of energetic resonance, and practical methods that actually work consistently. This book is born from failure as much as success. It's the result of trying every practice, studying every tradition, and finally understanding why some approaches work brilliantly for some people and fail miserably for others. It's the synthesis of Western esotericism, Eastern wisdom traditions, modern neuroscience, and hard-won personal experience. I'm not going to tell you that if you just visualize clearly enough, the universe will deliver your dreams. That's lazy teaching. Instead, I'm going to show you the actual mechanism through which manifestation works, and more importantly, why it hasn't been working for you, despite your best efforts. The Abundance Code Framework. The framework I'll share with you has 4 interconnected pillars, and all 4 must be addressed for sustainable abundance to manifest. First, nervous system regulation. This is the biological foundation everything else rests upon. Your nervous system is either broadcasting safety or survival, rest or threat, abundance or scarcity. Until you regulate this fundamental system, no amount of visualization or affirmation will override its signals. This isn't just theory, it's neuroscience. The polyvagal theory, discovered long after I began my spiritual journey, finally explained why all my practices sometimes worked and sometimes didn't. Your nervous system is the operating system upon which every other program runs. Second, the four elemental equilibrium. The ancient wisdom traditions weren't speaking metaphorically when they talked about balancing earth, water, fire, and air. These represent fundamental qualities of existence that manifest in your life. Earth is your grounding and structure. Water is your emotional flow and intuition. Fire is your passion and transformative power. Air is your mental clarity and vision. When these are out of balance, no amount of manifestation work will create sustainable results. You might achieve something through excessive fire, but you'll burn out. You might connect deeply through water, but without earth, you can't stabilize what you create. I learned this through decades of Rosicrucian study, but it took living it to truly understand it. Third, inner coherence. This is where all your parts come into alignment: mind, emotion, body, and spirit. Coherence is the state where your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations all point in the same direction. It's the opposite of the internal civil war most people live with, where the mind wants one thing, the emotions feel another, and the body is stuck in a third pattern entirely. When you achieve coherence, your energetic broadcast becomes clear, powerful, and irresistible to the universe. Fourth, conscious application. Finally, you need to know how to work with these systems deliberately. This isn't about controlling reality through force of will. That's the old paradigm. It's about creating the conditions where abundance naturally arises. It's about becoming a clear channel, rather than trying to be the source. This requires specific practices, daily attention, and ongoing refinement. Chapter 1. The Law of Attraction Decoded. Beyond positive thinking, what the law really is. The law of attraction has been both praised as the ultimate secret to success and dismissed as magical thinking. Both perspectives miss the mark. Having studied everything from Franz Barden's Hermetic principles to quantum physics, from yogic philosophy to modern neuroscience, I can tell you this: the law of attraction is real, but not in the way it's commonly taught. At its core, the law of attraction is about resonance. Everything in the universe vibrates at specific frequencies. This isn't mystical language, it's physics. Your thoughts have frequencies. Your emotions have frequencies. Your physical body, down to the cellular level, operates at specific frequencies. The state of your nervous system creates a particular resonance. When you understand that you're a complex, multi-layered resonant system, constantly broadcasting your state to the universe, the law of attraction becomes less mysterious and more mechanical. During my years studying with the Rosicrucians, particularly during that extraordinary 2-day workshop on esoteric astrology in Baden-Baden, I learned something profound about correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. This isn't poetic philosophy. It's describing the mechanism of manifestation. Your external reality must correspond to your internal state. The universe isn't granting wishes, it's reflecting your resonance back to you. But here's where most teachings go wrong. They focus exclusively on thoughts. Think positive, attract positive. Yet, after practicing Kriya Yoga for years, experiencing multiple Kundalini awakenings, and studying Taoist energy cultivation for a decade, I can tell you with certainty, your thoughts are only one layer, and often not even the most important one. Frequency, resonance, and energetic signatures. Think of yourself as a radio transmitter. You're constantly broadcasting a signal into the universe. But your signal isn't just what you're thinking. It's the sum total of everything happening in your system. The state of your nervous system, the balance of elements within you, your emotional patterns, your physical tension or relaxation, your cellular memories, and yes, your thoughts too. When I was working as an audio engineer, building recording studios and producing music, I learned everything about frequency and resonance. In audio production, you can't just say, "Make it sound good," and expect results. You need to understand which frequencies are present, which are missing, which are clashing, and how to create coherence in the mix. The same principles apply to your life. Your dominant frequency, your energetic signature, determines what you attract. But most people have a signal that's full of static and interference. They're thinking abundance while feeling fear. They're visualizing success while their body is locked in survival mode. They're affirming self-love while carrying decades of shame in their tissues. This creates a confused, chaotic signal that the universe can't clearly respond to. I've seen this play out countless times, both in my own life and in others. During my years teaching yoga and working with students in various spiritual traditions, I noticed a pattern. The people who successfully manifested their desires weren't necessarily the ones who visualized the most or affirmed the loudest. They were the ones whose entire being, body, emotion, and mind aligned in the same direction. They had clean signals. They had coherence. Why affirmations fail and when they work. Affirmations have become almost synonymous with manifestation work. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am loved. Repeat these enough times, the theory goes, and they'll become your reality. Sometimes this works brilliantly. More often, it fails completely. Why? An affirmation is only as powerful as the resonance behind it. If you're saying, "I am abundant," while your nervous system is screaming, "Danger," which signal do you think is stronger? Your nervous system is processing millions of bits of information per second and broadcasting its assessment of your safety and resources to every cell in your body. Your conscious affirmation, by comparison, is a whisper trying to overcome a roar. I learned this the hard way. During my 20s, studying law in Vienna while simultaneously immersed in Rosicrucian teachings, I practiced affirmations religiously. I had notebooks full of carefully crafted statements, yet my life remained stubbornly average. It wasn't until years later, after regulating my nervous system and addressing the trauma my body carried from nearly dying as a child, that affirmations suddenly became powerful. The difference wasn't the words, it was the state I was affirming from. When affirmations work, it's because they're reinforcing an already existing state of coherence. When your nervous system feels safe, when your elements are balanced, when your body genuinely believes what you're saying, then affirmations become amplifiers of an already clear signal. But trying to use affirmations to override a dysregulated system is like trying to paint over rot in wood. You might cover it temporarily, but the foundation is still compromised. The key is this: affirmations should be confirmations. They work when they confirm and strengthen what's already becoming true in your system, not when they try to contradict your lived reality. First, create the state. Then, use affirmations to reinforce and expand it. The coherence factor. Coherence is perhaps the most important concept in this entire book, yet it's rarely discussed in manifestation literature. Coherence means all your parts are working together, creating a unified, powerful signal. It's the opposite of internal conflict, where different parts of you want different things, creating interference patterns that cancel each other out. The HeartMath Institute has done fascinating research on heart coherence, showing that when your heart rhythm becomes ordered and stable, it creates a coherent electromagnetic field that affects not just your own body, but also those around you. People in coherent states think more clearly, feel more balanced, and yes, attract circumstances that match their state far more effectively than those in chaos. During my time practicing Ashtanga Yoga daily in Byron Bay, then later in Melbourne, I experienced states of profound coherence. When your breath is synchronized, your mind is present, your body is engaged, and your emotions are calm. Everything aligns. In those moments, life seems to flow effortlessly. Opportunities appear, synchronicities multiply. People respond to you differently. This isn't magic. It's coherence creating a clear, powerful broadcast that the universe can easily respond to. But here's what's crucial. Coherence isn't just a pleasant state you experience during meditation or yoga. It needs to become your baseline. This requires addressing every level of your system: nervous system regulation, elemental balance, emotional processing, physical health, and mental clarity. When all these align, coherence becomes natural, sustainable, and extraordinarily powerful.